Carrie. Oh, hello. Welcome to HowDoWeHuman. This is the podcast where we talk about all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
Key! I'm one of your hosts, Evan Cox.
And when you put those together, you know we're talking about karaoke today.
The karaoke is the lock of karaoke. You need the key to
That's so true.
get
you
in
need
there
the
and
key.
sing a song.
Yeah, I mean, key being musical terminology.
And by that, I meant the key was A. Too many puns. We need to be stopped.
We need to be stopped, and let's see if we can stop making puns as we turn to Evan and ask, how you doing?
You know, right now I'm doing okay. It's I act as if we don't
doing
usually
karaoke.
I'm doing karaoke.
We did it. We couldn't be stopped.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun one. It's a Friday for us. It's a Monday for you. Hopefully.
Yeah.
You listen on the day of release, please. So that's nice. We're getting snow again. Apparently, overnight and tomorrow we're going to be getting like 10 inches of snow. That's too much for
Spring
March.
has sprung
I mean, it's
my
almost
ass.
April. Tell me about it. What's that? Get that groundhog back here.
Yeah, I want to speak to that groundhog's manager.
What I want to talk about is a first for me. I love to cook.
Yes.
That's not a first.
Right.
That's been true for a while now. I really enjoy this stuff. And I, a few nights ago, had made a fine risotto, a mushroom risotto. It was pretty dang good. And what you do after you finish your servings of risotto, you got a little extra risotto there. You got this rice that's been sitting there. You can turn it into something called arancini.
Okay.
Maybe arancini. I don't know. I'm not Italian at all.
Well, the Trump family's really taken over the RNC.
yeah, okay. I thought you were going for like an orange pun. RNC.
As in citrus? No,
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways.
This is the problem with when we can't be stopped making puns, is we don't know which ones we're making anymore.
We don't know what we're making, and nothing can get done.
Unlike Evan in the kitchen, we don't know what we're making.
We don't know. Arancini or arancini are Aziz Ansari. Yeah, put your risotto into little balls, put something in the middle of them. Put some mozzarella cheese in the middle, close it up, it's a ball, bread it, toss it in oil, fry that shit. Make some marinara sauce, dip it in there. It's really good. And as a side, I was like, you know what? I've never done this before. People love it. I haven't always been crazy about it, but sometimes I feel when there's a recipe that I've not always been crazy about, I just need to cook it myself. And for whatever reason, that helps me appreciate it and how it tastes. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong, but it's the truth. And we're talking about...
It's always been missing love, and that's what you bring.
Honestly, people cook without love. And people cook bruschetta and or bruschetta without love. So I was going to try to make bruschetta and or bruschetta. I honestly, at this point, I don't know what the correct pronunciation is. I normally hear people say bruschetta.
That's what I've always heard as well.
In Italy, it's bruschetta. So,
well, thanks for the food, but we'll take it from here.
So we're talking, a little piece of bread toasted, get some Parmesan on there, marinated tomato, basil, garlic fiesta. And I'll say eventually it came out great. Here's where the first comes in. So the recipe I'm following, pop them in the oven, 5 minutes, just the bread part to toast it, and then pop it in the broiler for like 1 minute. Broiler, super hot. You're super close to the fire. I was using some parchment paper. I was using parchment paper underneath the bread, and it was just a little loosey-goosey. So I slid it in the broiler. Those edges immediately catch fire, so I pull it out. Oh boy, everything's on fire. Fuck. Let me get that out. I got it out. All right. So now the loose edges aren't up there anymore. I've got them off. It's just there. I'm like, oh, now we should be good. I pop it back in the broiler. I go about doing things. Slowly, the kitchen is like, man, it sure smells like smoke in here. I pulled it out the broiler. Oh, the whole thing is on fire. All the toasts are completely black. I've never had this happen before. And I found myself in a momentary panic. And it was kind of fun to find yourself in one of those the short list emergency moments where you realize, like, you do fucking panic. Because I'm going, like,
Sure.
There's gas coming out of the oven. I've got a ball of flames in my hand.
Put them together?
And my brain did run through the checklist of, like, water. No, you don't necessarily want to do water. That could spread it. Towel. Put a towel over it. And I did it. I was like, hey.
Good job.
Those, whoever told me that in the past, probably some cartoon when I was a kid. That's how I learned most life lessons. It did stick with me, and it just took me a moment of panic to not burn this house down.
Nice.
Yeah. But I felt like until I got that straightened out, I was a bit of a dick to be around. So, apologies to my girlfriend, if she can hear me.
And it's best for you to apologize to her on microphone with me instead of to her. I think we can all agree.
She, probably hasn't listened to an episode in years. So. But she's in earshot.
I like the idea that you're just leaving little clues for her to test if she's listening.
The clues.
I gave you all. I gave you all the clues, Miss Girlfriend.
The clues are for our relationship. Like, I'm a really good boyfriend. If you listen to the podcast,
you won't solve my riddles.
Ooh, relationship riddles. Speaking of riddles, who's oh boy, who's I'm just gonna say it anyways. It's an inside joke that other people aren't gonna know. Who's wearing the shirt that sparked the Inside Out Boys? It sounds like such a weird sentence without context.
Yeah. But it is me.
Who's gray and red and on this podcast?
Yeah, it's me. If you're asking how I'm doing, the answer is good.
And how is he doing? Yes. Lord.
I was driving to work yesterday, and this was at about 1 p.m. So it's pretty bright outside. And I mentioned the brightness because up in the sky I see something that I can't explain. Did I see a UFO in the middle of the afternoon? I doubt it. But here's what I saw. I was on the freeway, and it looked like I saw just like a big plane low in the sky.
Yeah.
But like, is it kind of translucent, or is it just the Los Angeles smog and haze that's kind of making it look more gray? But then very close, like escorting this plane essentially, look like two smaller planes. But they also have the same like hazy cover across them. And so I was trying to find out, like, this is one of the only regrets, and regret is a strong word. But this is one of the only times where I'm like, man, I kind of wish I still had Twitter or X, because
Or
that's how I found, like, when something was happening in my neighborhood. Who was I gonna
true.
call? The search function on Twitter
Yes.
and see if other people were tweeting about the same thing or had photos of the same thing that I am trying to uncover.
Yeah.
Um, so I tried to do what research I could through the Citizen app and through just Google searches, but I can't find what that plane or aircraft or whatever, what that was or what it was for.
Interesting.
Um, and of course, Twitter or X is virtually unusable at this point,
Yeah.
so I'm not about to sign back up. It used to be I could just, like, go to the one account that I still kind of enjoyed looking at,
Yeah.
but not have an account. But now,
No can do.
Elon's made sure that that's first he made sure it was frustrating because you would go to a profile and it would just be a random ordering of tweets, no
Yep.
chronological order, no or sorted by popularity, just random.
Yeah.
And
Freedom of
now,
speech.
yeah, and now for the freedom of speech, you can only see a login screen. It's great.
What a guy.
What a guy.
What
We
a
love him.
guy. What an app. What a guy.
Similarly, before we get into karaoke,
Yeah.
on Instagram, they keep promoting threads, and they'll show you a
Yes.
thread that
And they promoted it in
is
a
too
weird way.
long so that it
Yes.
always
Ugh,
says
brutal.
more. And you're like, well, if I'm going to sign up for threads, I at least want to know the full post that is drawing me to your
Yeah.
thing. And again, you're just met with a login screen.
Yeah.
If you want to see this, you got to sign up for our thing.
Sign up. No. Not
No,
gonna do it.
not interested.
The way they're promoting it to me now is by saying that, like, they'll say specific friends of mine. I get a notification as if something
Yeah.
happened on my Instagram account, but no,
Yes.
it's a notification saying that, like, Patrick Gremion and Zach Job, our former guests of ours, would love to follow me on Threads.
Sure.
I'm like, I don't think they've had any say in this. I think they're just on there. And that's how they're trying to lure me in under
Yeah.
false pretenses. Because if I start an account and Zach Job and Patrick Gremion do not follow me, that's going to break my fucking heart. I do need to throw this out because I love there are things I wanted, like creative output I want to make, but I just realistically go, I'm probably never going to do that. And then it would be like a web comic. I've talked about this, and I had that thought recently because you saw a UFO or something in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
and you said, "What is that? A bird?" Now that makes you think Superman, right? So here it is.
Well, first, after I think bird, then I think plane, and then I think Superman. I don't go
Correct.
straight from bird to Superman,
Is that
to
a
be
bird?
clear.
Superman. That would also be good. This is my web comic. Superman goes flying by in the sky. A woman goes, "It's a bird!" And then everyone in Metropolis is just looking at her like, so? That's it. Why are people responding to that? It's a bird, and they all look up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good point.
There's
That
something
is a
there.
good point about the citizens of Metropolis.
They love birds.
Avid bird watchers.
Avid
Every
bird
one of them.
watchers. Oh, it's a plane. Oh, it's Superman. And also, if they're well aware that Superman's around, I might be quicker to lead that it's Superman.
Yeah, that's interesting. We got a lot of questions. I want to speak to the Groundhog's manager, and I want to speak to the mayor of Metropolis.
Yes. Yes!
First of all, why do so many supervillains keep coming to your city?
I
This is nuts.
mean, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. I'd love to see, like, the political attack ads every election year in like Gotham and Metropolis and
Same.
all these other cities.
Those are great, like, sketch ideas.
Yeah.
We could do that. We're not going to. We don't have the time or energy.
The mayor of Century City allowed Gorilla Grodd to run rampant through the streets.
It's good. It's good.
Funny.
Yeah. Hey, that's all I got. It's good. What else is good and fire and slapping? Does anyone say slapping instead of just it slaps? Or is that just me?
I think that's exclusively you.
This podcast, it's slapping. And I like slapping. And so, we'd be slapping like Will Smith at a karaoke bar.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly right.
So,
Of course, going up to any singer and saying, "Get that song's lyrics out of your mouth."
Someone's up there singing Jolene. Keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth. This is good too. This is good too. We gotta talk karaoke.
Yes, we have to. This is an episode we've been thinking about for months. And by thinking about, I mean we had a good idea for guests and they ghosted us. So we decided it's time to just talk about it anyway.
I forgot. That's funny.
You like to karaoke?
It's a complicated subject for me.
Yeah.
I can with confidence say that I used to absolutely love to do karaoke. And I think a large part of that was having a good group of people who enjoyed going to karaoke.
Yeah.
It's odd where, like, I don't know, I enjoy, I think it's a fun setting. It'll just like anything at a bar. Because, like, it could be, if you're there with a group of friends at a bar, you're having a drink, that could just be fun in and of itself. But if there's trivia going on, that's extra fun. If there's any sort of event, that can be extra fun. I found out the hard way that some people really, really hate just being in a bar where karaoke is happening.
Yes.
And I'm like, I've been to when I lived in Seattle, there was a karaoke bar a ways up the road from me, and we'd ended up there I think it was Halloween, and that was just like, it was such a fun thing. So those were like my
everybody's
roommates.
doing Monster Mash.
Yes, everyone was in costume. It was just a good time. And so I was like, hey, friends of mine, like my work friends and stuff like that, we should all go. Let's go on a karaoke night, Thursday night. Let's go. And oh man, they fucking hated it. It's like, oh, okay. You don't.
But they all went?
They
were
went.
all like, yes, let's absolutely all go to a karaoke night.
I could go to whatever karaoke night, or at least I used to be able to, and just be like, this is fun because I enjoy karaoke. They less so, and they just hated the bar. Okay. And I was like, oh, that didn't even occur to me. This is whatever. It's a fine place. No, they not fans, and it never happened again. And I felt like an idiot, and they were all gone by the time I sang "Kiss by a Rose."
That's brutal.
That's it's a tough song. I wasn't by myself. There were two friends stuck around by that point, but it's like, oof, rough.
Yeah, there's definitely who you're with for karaoke makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
There are also, the two different types essentially of karaoke, which is like the private. It's just you and your friends singing songs. and
Yeah.
then there's like an open stage and everybody's a part of it.
Yes.
Um and I don't think I've been with friends who have gone up and performed during the public karaoke.
Yes.
But the only time I've participated has been in the private
In
karaoke,
the
in
private
the
sector.
shadows. Yeah, in the private sector. Exactly.
Do you feel then, was that just because it's like situational, or do you feel more comfortable in a private setting than you would doing it on stage?
Absolutely more comfortable in the private setting.
Interesting.
That being said, the last time there was a private karaoke uh group, I was not comfortable, and so I did not participate in that one either.
Okay.
And we'll get
Okay.
into some of these different settings and scenarios where I've been in karaoke before, when I've come
Fascinated.
face to face with it. Um, is Kiss from a Rose your go-to karaoke jam, Evan?
No, definitely not. It was an attempt at finding a new karaoke jam, and I thought it went okay.
You saw it on Community and you were like, hell yeah.
This was pre-community.
Pre-Community?
This was pre-community. And then I saw that, and I felt like I was being mocked. It's funny because it's like, the tough thing with karaoke is there's like singing well, whatever, but then there's putting on a performance
Yeah.
where it doesn't matter if you sing well. And people like the latter significantly more than the former, I generally
Yes.
find.
Yes.
And I'm not like an astoundingly good singer by any means, but I'm much more of like, I'm going to try my hardest to sing this really well. Like I'm playing rock band or something. I want a good
Sure.
score.
Yeah.
Than I am now. Have I given some performances? Absolutely. And the difference is major. I say, what's Shock the Monkey with Peter Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I was dancing, going big. The DJ person got into it. He was started singing backup vocals, running the lights and shit. I was like, oh man, I should have done that more often, I guess. But
There
I've
is
yeah.
almost every karaoke situation I've gone to, right? Um, there's always at least one person who's like a borderline professional singer,
Yes.
and it just like ruins it for everyone.
100%.
Everybody is like, well, this sucks.
Yeah, and again, I'm not a very good singer, but I've been on stage and felt that of just like nobody
Yeah,
wants this.
right.
Particularly, you make decisions when you're very drunk sometimes. And me and my buddy Anthony were at a popular gay bar in Seattle. They had a karaoke night, and we knew the bartenders. Not that we need excuses to go to a gay bar, but we ended up there one night. And it's, to me, again, I'm not concerned about the bar. I'm just like, hey, karaoke, let's do it. I'm like, I'm wearing a flannel and I sang a Bruce Springsteen song. And I was like, I think I just gave like the straightest performance that gay bar has ever seen. And they hated it. Dead silence after I was done.
That sucks.
And I was like, and you sober up real quick and go like, oh, I see what happened. My bad. Misjudged the arena. I asked you about your preference of private versus public because
Yeah.
I'm the complete opposite of you. Even though I've
Okay.
had these terrible experiences, I kind of hate private karaoke rooms. I get so uncomfortable in them. I do not like I would always rather, since I was a kid, I would always way rather just go do something like in front of a bunch of people. Some of them I know, but most of them are strangers. Than
Yeah.
I would just for a small group of people who know me. Because
Yeah.
if I crash and burn like I did there, I don't know most of those people. Went back to my table with Anthony, and we just both went like, "Ooh." But at a private thing, if I do something and it sucks, well, then we're all just gonna sit in it,
Yeah. Okay.
and they'll all have seen it, and they'll think about it forever. They'll
Yeah.
never not think of that when they see me.
Yeah.
These are my
That's true.
concerns. Are these not concerns of yours? Can I put them in your
No.
head?
Well, sure. So my biggest issue nowadays with karaoke
Mm-hmm.
is strictly just like picking a song that I just like. I'm overwhelmed with choice.
It's a big book usually.
It's usually a huge book, and the I don't want to pick a song that has like I'm not trying to sing exceptionally because I know that's
Mm-hmm.
impossible for me. But I'm also not trying to do like a song that has notes that are severely out of my range. Yeah. I'm trying to keep it like everybody wants to do Don't Stop Believin', right?
Sure,
But
everyone
like
wants
they
to.
always forget that there are some really high notes that you have to hit in that song. Um, but in college, Ryan, who was on the weddings episode,
Yes.
his now wife would host like Monday night parties at her apartment, basically, and she had
Yeah.
a karaoke machine in her apartment. So we didn't even have to go anywhere for karaoke. We could just
Yeah.
fire up the machine, and it would open every night with Ryan and I singing the song "Afternoon Delight" as a duet together. And then there were a couple other songs that like I don't remember where this karaoke machine came from, but
Ooh, spooky.
somewhere somewhere in Asia, because a lot of the lyrics were not transcribed correctly, and
Sure.
it was just like as close um as a non-English speaker could kind of piece together.
Yeah.
And the excitement of making sure that I always sang as written. Um, uh, it was thrilling to me, and
Yeah.
making sure everybody else did the same thing. I know you want to try and sing the right lyrics. No, no, no. We stay on script, and at this party,
100%.
we have a lot of rules, and we make sure we follow them.
That's
Um,
like most likely not make assumptions, but karaoke fucking massive in Korea, and I have been in Seattle. There's a Korean karaoke bar, and that easily, hands down, is the most fun I've ever like. It's just, I don't know, a part of the culture or something.
yeah.
Like a Korean karaoke bar is a fucking blast.
The second to most recent karaoke place that I went to was in Koreatown
Nice.
here in Los Angeles. And that was when I did not participate, even though it was a private room. But that was also because I knew maybe 3 of the like 10 people in there. And
Yeah.
the
Feels weird
problem, yeah,
to ask for stage time.
it was after this, like they were all very much like, oh, everybody should go. Who wants to go next? Um, the I didn't know, because I didn't know a lot of those people. I didn't know what song to choose, because I my general thought is to usually go with like a song everybody knows, but is also like maybe I'm doing it because I like it, maybe I'm doing it because it's a bit.
Who can say?
Um, and I couldn't figure out the vibe of this particular group because they would sometimes just pick songs. There were one or two people who like kept going because they really liked karaoke, but they would
Yeah.
keep choosing songs and then start each one with like, oh, I don't think I really remember the words, so everybody come in. It's like, well, I mean,
You picked the song.
you picked it. You could have picked one that you know the words
The
to.
words are on the screen.
Yeah, it's just kind of a weird vibe.
Yeah.
And I thought about doing the song "Push" by Matchbox 20 in honor of Ryan Gosling's performance in Barbie, but it was like, are people gonna be on board with this?
Right.
Are people gonna think I'm supporting the patriarchy? What do we think is happening? And so I was like, you know what? How about I just leave this party early?
That's a good idea. I'd be right there with you. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's part of my just problem with the private karaoke rooms. It's too much pressure for me. There's too many factors, whether I know everyone really well or don't. Like, because even, like I said, I'd rather do a large group of strangers. I'm not saying I'd rather do a private room with strangers. That also sounds fucking terrible. I just don't like small groups that can critique me to my face very easily. I'll also say, in my experience, limited experience, I've done private karaoke rooms maybe 3 times in my life. I've generally found private karaoke rooms are where white people go to rap.
Oh, interesting.
And say all the lyrics they're not supposed to.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have not
this is what you mean by private.
No, I have not experienced these things. When we were in college, when we would have the Monday night parties, I'm trying to think. I almost feel like maybe somebody did, decide to say some of the lyrics that they weren't supposed to, and everybody kind of went, we don't do that here. But what happened more often than that, I had usually left by this point because, hey, I like to party, but I also like to go to bed.
Yeah.
But pretty frequently, I think there'd be a noise complaint and the police would show up and expecting a rowdy party, but instead it's just people screaming, "Take on me."
Yes.
So that was about as rowdy as my karaoke experiences have ever been. The most recent karaoke, though, that I went to was a couple weeks ago, Evan.
Wow.
Yeah, my fiance and her twin sister, it was their birthday, and so we went out to a bar, and it happened to be karaoke night at this bar. And
what
it did kind of feel like there was like a big group of people who like all kind of knew each other and were all taking turns. There was one time where like 7 of them got up on the stage and did a song together. But my fiance, her sister, and one of their friends were like, hey, we have to do Mamma Mia by ABBA, like Donna and the Dynamos in the movie. And so they go up there, they do the song, and I was like, well, I'll take pictures.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and then like I know all the lyrics to Mamma Mia.
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
He
That's
never shuts up
exactly
about how he knows the lyrics to Mamma Mia.
Yeah, it's my whole personality. It's the lyrics to Mamma Mia.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
lyrics. How could I forget you? My.
Oh, just how much I've missed you. So I'm there taking the photos, and everybody else in the crowd. It's always very interesting to see how the crowd reacts to different songs,
Mm-hmm.
because the ladies in the bar were going nuts for Mamma Mia, and all the guys were like, "All right," like, this. I guess the ladies can have one.
I can't relate to this.
Mamma Mia, what about Dada Dia?
That's what I'm talking about. Now, where's my arancini?
uh, but I guess they told me after they were finished that they looked over to me, and because I was taking photos, I was just like stone faced the whole time. Like, I forgot to have fun.
Forgot to support and have fun.
Forgot to support. I was just trying to take photos.
Yeah.
I was trying to be a fly on the wall.
Hard to be sometimes.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to remember,
to rev the brain back
I
up.
gotta
real
rev the
quick.
brain back up. I need a primer.
Yeah.
No, you're talking about creating a motherfucking ruckus at a party, karaoke party, loud, poor singing. It can be fun, but on the other side, literally, so Jocelyn's old apartment was right next to someone who did karaoke parties every week.
Yeah.
At least one Friday night, if not Friday and Saturday night. These walls, thin AF, and they were screaming.
Yeah.
A lot of Celine Dion, Bon Jovi, etc. To the point, like, we would be in her apartment, like, watching a movie or something, and it's like, you can't hear. All you can hear is them screaming karaoke songs. And the part that killed us the most, it's like, we're in this apartment. Their apartment is bigger, but it's not like a huge apartment. But they've got all these people out, and instead of just like talking to all those people, okay, who wants to go next? The person whose apartment it was needed to use the microphone to continue to play the DJ and be like, all right, who's coming up next? God. We got Samantha singing Don't Stop Me Now. It's like, oh, God, stop. And I know there were multiple times she would text and be like, hey, it's 1 a.m. Can you just like turn the volume down a little bit? And they essentially never did. They would say
that
did,
doesn't surprise me.
I don't think they ever touched that knob. So I went in there with my detective kit and dusted the volume knob for fingerprints. Clean! Never been touched.
Not even to turn it up.
Not even, no. Factory settings. So I do want to talk. I have one karaoke night in particular that was very memorable. So memorable, I believe I've told like one part of this story on this podcast at some point, but it's kind of a 3-parter. This was, I've mentioned before, at Emerald Downs horse racing track. When I worked there, we'd always have a big end of the horse racing season party. The whole TV department and all the departments usually would also do something, but at the very least, the TV department would get together and do something. This one year, I believe this was actually after I was no longer working there. But I'm like, hey, these are all my friends, and they're going to a bar in Stillicum, so I'm gonna drive over there, and they're doing karaoke and playing pool and just having drinks and chatting. So I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Turns out there's a karaoke contest going on. I was not aware of this. I signed up not for the contest, just to do karaoke.
Okay.
I signed up to sing Queen's "Somebody to Love."
Talk about some high notes.
You're telling me. So it was. I signed up, and it was like they were like, for some reason, the point where I signed up, it's like, oh, you're next, but the contest is starting, so you're in the contest. So like, oh, okay, that's more pressure than I expected. But I guess I'm now in a karaoke contest. So I do my darndest, and hey, pat on the back. It went pretty well. Freddie Mercury, kiss my ass. No, it went decently. But again, I am Mr. Boring Karaoke. Unless I'm picking like a song, if I'm intentionally going like, let's have fun, I'll just do fun. And Queen can be that. That's not how I treated it. I mostly just stood there looking at those words, singing my darndest. And
you treated Queen with the reverence that royalty deserves.
We salute you,
Your Majesty. Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
Yes. So again, I didn't sign up for this fucking contest. I'm the one that always ruins the party and tries to sing too well. And people generally don't like it. But I got a big old round of applause. People enjoyed the performance, whatever. After that were the people that actually intended to sign up for the karaoke contest. They're all singing fun songs and having fun and dancing and not necessarily sounding great, but they're putting on a performance, which people love. But I think because I was the only person involved in the horse racing track in that competition, technically, and those were all the people voting, I won this competition.
Yeah!
And that felt like shit. I'm not going to say like at the moment I wasn't like, ooh, happy about it, but it's fucking awkward to watch. I think it was just like 5 other people that had submitted to compete in the contest, doing great in the spirit of karaoke, the shit that absolutely should win. And it was like, I think I won a free beer and a shirt. And the shirt was like 3 sizes too big for me. But I loved that shirt and I wore it all the time. But like, it sucked. It was the worst winning experience I've ever had because I felt like everyone hated me. Now, a little time passes. I'm drinking McGee, and me and my buddy Zach signs me up. Again, I'm being signed up for contests unintentionally. Other people are signing me up for songs, but he's like, hey, we're going to do gin and juice.
Yeah.
I'm like, drunk? And I'm like, okay. So I love my buddy Zach. Knowing him, I know he knows all the words, and he'll do great. I'm not really thinking about it for a long time, and as it gets closer, I'm going like, I might be like kind of that age group. I don't know all the words to gin and juice. Mm-hmm. And I know the words will be up there, but when it comes to rapping, kind of matters the cadence you do it at.
Yeah.
And so I start kind of panicking, and it just gets to the point where it's like, oh, time for and again, it's like it ended up being pushed back so far that it's like I'm drunker now. So we're doing it, and I pretty quickly realize all I can do is sing the hook.
Yeah.
Sipping on gin and juice, laid back, with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. We can all do that. That is
also the only part I could do.
We can all handle that. I think I must have been like drunk murmuring with the rest of it while Zach was performing and like half trying to keep up because a mutual a coworker of ours, like halfway through the song, like walked up, put his hand on my shoulder, and took the mic out of my hands and took over for me. Like, it's okay. You can leave now. So, highs and lows, but all in all, a pretty embarrassing night.
Sure.
And I don't believe I've ever done karaoke again. I think I just left it there. Like, you know what? I don't think I'm good at this. I don't know, but I would. I'd like to think I would. I would go back under the right circumstances.
Yeah.
Whatever those might be.
I mean, you talked about being the person who ruins the party.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm a pro.
I've been searching, like, this whole episode that we've been talking. I've been trying to find the name of this restaurant, and I finally found it.
Okay.
In college, in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Karaoke capital of the world.
Some of my friends and I went to this bar/restaurant that has been now closed for 8 years, but that was part of why
it's been closed for 8 years.
So this is why it took me so long to find the name of it.
That makes sense.
But the name of the restaurant is Granny's Closet.
Great.
Okay. Granny's Closet probably doesn't sound like the cool college bar.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was like where families in town go for their karaoke night or their, dinner or whatever.
Like a BJ's sort of vibe.
Kind of. Even like, like Coco's, like the breakfast restaurant.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but for dinner.
Okay.
Like that combined with BJ's probably.
Yeah.
Or maybe Applebee's, something like that.
Apple BJ's.
Apple BJ's. Power through. Don't stop to dwell on it.
Don't stop me now.
Don't stop these puns.
I'm gonna have a good time.
The two of my friends are like, we gotta sign up for karaoke, but there's not enough rap and hip hop in this family establishment. Everybody's doing, songs from the 80s, 90s, and today, as radio stations still proclaim, even though it's like
today's
1 decade, 2 decades, and 24 years of music. But anyway, they get up there and they do a duet of, and I don't know the name of this song, I only know this one lyric from it. I love bad bitches, that's my fucking problem. And just...
I don't think I know that one either.
They just are ruining this this family restaurant. Weekday probably.
ASAP
dinner.
Rocky. Fucking problems.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. That's amazing.
And then, I think I want to say that the series of events was, because the thing is they didn't really know the lyrics either. And there was a lot of mumbling until both of them are, running back and forth by each other on the stage. I love bad bitches. That's my fucking problem. That's really like similar to Gin and Juice. Like that's really the part of the song that they knew. And then I think as they sat back down, they kind of realized like, hey, everybody else in this restaurant, like, hey, I'm here to support you.
Yeah.
As are the 2 or 3 other people that didn't go up there with you that are in this group. We support you, but everybody else fucking hated that.
Just so you know.
I think that they kind of picked up on that vibe of like, man, maybe that this wasn't the crowd for that. Like,
yeah.
Truthfully, what I think their plan was like, hey, some of the waitresses here are attractive, so let's show them that we're not, into the 80s and 90s and today. We're into ASAP Rocky. But I think that realizing that most of the other patrons did not enjoy that, they picked another song later in the night to kind of redeem the college kid image.
Yeah.
And I didn't go up there with them, but I feel like maybe they brought the microphones into the audience. I can't remember. Or if we were just all like singing from the table while they were up on the stage.
Yeah.
But they did That's Amore. And so everybody can get on board with That's Amore. Even if you've been hitting the eye with the moon or whatever the lyrics
are. Yeah, to the moon, Alice.
Yeah, that's Amore.
Hey, that's Amore.
Hey, I don't make the rules. That's Amore.
Just telling it like it is. Oh, get us on X.
Get us on that platform that's free to sign up for.
I think that's yeah. Someone help us. That platform that we left. But yeah, there is. I think that's also part of what ended up making me leave karaoke. I've retired. Is like, I think there's really like just a couple of genres that are appropriate for karaoke, unless you're in very specific bars. And I've found rock, not one of them. Unless 80s rock, sure.
Yeah.
You want to go with Bon Jovi, that might be it. People will like that. But most rock falls flat as hell. I remember at a different... Emerald Downs went to a lot of karaoke bars. I'm just now realizing. A different Emerald Downs party. And there was a guy who worked in a different department who I'm like, oh, I recognize him, but I've never seen him. And I saw this when I swear to God, Scouts Honor. I was looking on Reddit. I forget why. Maybe just researching for this episode. No, I think it just came up organically, believe it or not. And someone mentioned this exact song as a song that a lot of people sing at karaoke that always kills the mood. And that is Bodies by Drowning Pool. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Okay,
Let the bodies hit the floor. And it's like, you know what? He sounded pretty decent.
Yeah, it's just not a fun song.
It immediately kills the room, and it's no longer like everyone's having a fun time and watching and participating. It's like, oh nope, now this one guy is going to do something.
Yeah.
Which is probably how people react when I did karaoke.
And that's my fear for doing karaoke, is being like, okay, we were all having fun, and now Chris has the microphone for 3 minutes, and then we can get back to having fun.
The straightest man in Seattle came to sing Born to Run. Yeah, I don't know. I've ruined a lot of karaoke parties. But I've had, I want to say 2 performances that just clicked like a motherfucker with the audience. And it's a great feeling. I would do that again.
Should you and I go do karaoke together?
Yes.
Great.
And we'll take up 8 minutes and sing Paradise by the Dashboard Light by Meatloaf.
Well, you're going to have to carry that one because I don't think I know it.
It's a duet. And there's Meatloaf, and I forget the female performer's name. But it's a duet because it's 2 different people singing it. Meatloaf sings, then she sings, they go back and forth. It would be very funny to have both of us go up, but we just sing the Meatloaf parts together and then are silent for the rest of the song. It gets to.
Yeah, we're both men. We can only do the men
only
part.
do the boys. Let me sleep on it. Baby, baby, let me sleep on it. Ever heard that song?
No.
Let me sleep on it. I'll give you an hand. Oh, that's a good song. Go listen to Paradise by the Dashboard Light. People need to listen to more Meatloaf now. Stat.
Just yeah, I'm trying to think of any other genres that I have not seen that don't work in karaoke.
I was going to say I almost wonder if like rap straight up straight up is all. It also kind of feels like, oh, we all have to stop and watch this person show how good they are at rapping. It just feels like it's in a different spirit. I feel like pop, 80s anthems, R&B, that always kind of that's pretty solid. You're on safe ground there.
Yeah, I even feel like country generally works.
Country, I think there's a short list of country songs that crush at karaoke.
Take Me Home, Country Roads, of course.
Certainly.
That played at the last when my fiance and I went to that bar, and somebody did Take Me Home, Country Roads.
Like On the Road Again, a good low effort song that you could get people singing along with. The ladies, hey, they all get up for When He Cheats or Before He Cheats.
Absolutely, they do.
Yeah, Garth Brooks. Feel like people enjoy that. People enjoy that sort of thing.
Garth Brooks.
But that's
like people enjoy that.
And we do have to wrap this up. But that is my other where I talk about like specific genres. Like I listen to all genres of music pretty much. There's very little that I just go like, write it off. But at that same karaoke night where I got where I won the contest and then was booted off stage, someone, and I think it was someone else who had signed up for the contest, sang "I Love the Dead" by Alice Cooper. And that's a very specific song, and Alice Cooper at the end of it's just like screaming and going, I love that dead. And I fucking love that shit. I love that song. And that went down like a lead fucking balloon at karaoke. And that sucks. And maybe I did go up to that guy drunkenly and say stupid shit, but I'm just like, that's awesome. That's awesome that you picked such a fucking specific song. It's awesome that that's on the list. And I'm sorry, but that was the wrong decision. But it's just like, it sucks that like 75% of the music I listen to do not do that at karaoke.
Yeah.
And some of that I've learned the hard way.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like what you and I think we talked about this off mic last time we recorded, but so much of like the wedding playlist.
Sure, yeah.
Like, we need a bunch of danceable songs, but I listen to chill beats that you can study to for an hour.
Yes.
So you can't really get up and do that at karaoke.
I would love it. Hey, it's your wedding. do what you got to do. It's our job to figure out how to dance to it. Or we can all just have a study group.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely putting together this playlist has really been eye-opening to our different musical tastes. Apparently, she's like, no, Rack City is a fun song. I was like, what are you talking about?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know Rack City by Tyga, Evan?
I don't.
Oh my goodness. It sucks.
I can't wait to hear it.
I'm sure you will.
Imagining.
Apparently, an artist that I only knew as like a meme name, but apparently popular among Greek life participants in 2016-ish. But you may end up hearing some Fetty Wap.
I thought you were going to say Soulja Boy.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey,
I mean,
maybe.
Who knows? I haven't looked at the playlist in a while.
And you're like, hey, what about Bo Burnham's Welcome to the Internet?
Exactly.
Like, fuck off, Chris.
What about dick in a box.
What a dick in a box.
What about the song "We Just Had" or "I Just Had Sex"? Is that good for the wedding? Exclusively me. I mean, only I did. But, and here's a little tease for the listener as well.
Tease.
But Evan and I have been playing trivia at the end of every episode, and the end, the first question on this trivia is music related, musical artist related.
Thrilling.
So stay tuned. Maybe this is somebody who you'd want to emulate at karaoke. I don't know.
I love this. Speaking of musical artists, we gotta hear those, best part of that handle and shit. We gotta hear those greatest hits from our buddy Chris here. We gotta run through these. Thank you for listening. Please listen more. These episodes are everywhere. We got hundreds of them, believe it or not. And you can listen to them on Apple Podcasts. You can listen to them on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Podbean, wherever you want. Any one of those places, they've got shit you can do. You can leave us ratings, reviews. Ratings, we love 5. Reviews, we love yay. Give us what you got. We can take it as long as it's a compliment.
What you got.
You can also talk to us. We're not in a bubble, an unreachable bubble. People do it. People do talk to us, and you can too. You can reach out to us, or just be entertained by us further on our Instagram at HowDoWeHuman.
We got that handle.
Hey, you can do the same thing on our Facebook at HowDoWeHuman.
I love bad bitches. That's my fucking handle.
You can watch the video version of this if you aren't already. And if you are, ring that bell. You can find us on YouTube at HowDoWeHuman.
Oh, when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's a handle.
Punch that bell, you win. There is no try, only punch. You can leave us. We've always got too many options now. You can leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show, answer your question, whatever you want. We got a phone number that we still don't have words for. I think it's impossible, but we can do it like this. It's 323-657-9896.
Mamma mia! Call us on your phones.
Hell yeah. And all I've got is those first 3 letters spelled dad.
Yeah.
So if it's easier to remember, dad 657-9896.
Yeah. Evan and I have our, Goodwill Hunting equations just off camera, trying to crack the code on what this phone number can spell. And we'll get there. We'll solve it.
We're having a contest now.
Yes.
I've got like 100 very, very small HowDoWeHuman stickers.
I think I have one on my desk somewhere. Here they are.
And I will give you one if you could come up with a good series of words to represent our phone number and send that to our, email. And that, if you want to talk to us via email, is howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
The best part of that handle is that it's an email. They should have like commercial jingle karaoke.
I would love that.
Now, doing the Alka-Seltzer jingle. Here he comes, Evan Cox.
Oh, I'd be on the O'Reilly.
Yeah.
O'Reilly
Auto parts.
Ow! That would be so fun. Those need to at least be in the book,
Yeah.
we don't need the whole night to be commercial jingles, but if in
Right.
between, like, Don't Stop Believin' and Bohemian Rhapsody, someone just, I have a structured settlement and I need cash. I'm down. I'm all about it.
Yeah, call J.G. Wentworth.
I forgot the phone number.
I think it's
877
877
cash
cash
now.
now. 877 cash now.
Call How Do We Human. Dad 657-9896. We gotta take this quiz.
We do. Look, the score
we're
as
running
of
long
now,
and we're off the rails.
the score right now, if I get every question wrong and Evan gets every question right, we tie the total scores. So big pressure. And I think that Evan is more likely to know the answer to this first one than I am. So it's a bad start for me. But here we go.
Let's go.
Corey Taylor fronts which band? Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Offspring, or Slipknot?
I know.
Okay, I don't. I
Then
I
guess
haven't
wrong.
I haven't narrowed down to 2. So because I don't know, I'll walk you through my thought process here.
I think I see your thought process.
I believe Limp Bizkit is Fred Durst.
That's an interesting belief.
Linkin Park, I believe, was Chester Beddington, but R.I.P. to Chester.
Natasha Bedingfield.
Yeah, Natasha Bedingfield. And then that leaves me with The Offspring and Slipknot. And I'm going with Slipknot, but I'm not confident about it. My reasoning is that I feel like, and this might even be wrong, but I feel like Slipknot is the older band and therefore more likely to be an answer in this quiz.
Fuck you. Yes, it is Slipknot. You bastard. That was my moment.
It was.
Which part of the human...
Oh my god.
What is this question? Oh my god, we're about to learn something important. Which part of the human body contains the most gold? Is it my prospector thumb? Toenails, skin, fingernails, or hair? We contain gold?
Man, that's nuts. I have
This is insane.
truly zero idea what the answer is.
Yeah.
I think I'm between skin and hair.
I'm
pretty gross place to be.
I'm leaning fingernails, but it might just be because I'm thinking of prospectors.
Yeah.
Getting their hands in there, and through generations, we still have gold in our fingernails. Or is it just like a naturally grown hair? I think I'm between hair and fingernails.
I think I'm going hair.
Fuck.
But it's...
I'll go fingernails, and you'll be right.
Nope, toenails.
I was close. Wrong appendages.
The names of Lenin and Marx are mentioned in the Constitution of which nation? Cuba, Paraguay, Mexico, or Uruguay?
I have a solid guess.
I don't have a solid guess, but I have a guess.
My guess is Cuba.
That's my guess too. Damn it. And it's correct. All right, so we both have scored 2 points thus far.
All right. Which constellation appears on the flags of Australia, Brazil, New Zealand, and Samoa? Big Dog. Southern Cross. Alpha Romeo, or Great Bear?
I'm trying to visualize these flags, and I can't seem to do it.
I've got them.
I mean, first and foremost, never would have even known that the constellation was the same across these 4.
No.
I'm I've only ruled out one so far.
Okay.
Are you where's your thought process at this point?
I, I'm at like first thought, best thought, and sticking with it. I feel like it's probably a trick. So I'd say I'm between two, but I'm probably being tricked into being convinced it's Southern Cross.
Southern Cross is am on the same page as you where like I feel like that's where I'm leaning, but it also like I feel like I'm being tricked in that like my only reasoning for Southern Cross is that these four countries are in the southern hemisphere,
Oh, yeah.
and that's making me think southern. Um
My second guess is Alfa Romeo. Um,
okay, my second guess is Great Bear.
should we
And
just both go for our second guess?
my third guess is Big Dog because I think it's fun.
Arf,
And
arf.
the only one I had ruled out was Alfa Romeo strictly
Interesting.
because it wasn't pulling me at all.
Interesting. Well, I say either we both say Southern Cross or we can both go with our second guesses.
I I think I want to answer Southern Cross. So you want
All
to lock
right,
in
let's
Southern
do
Cross
it.
as well?
I'm sticking with it.
That
Yeah.
was correct. Okay.
So I knew Australia and New Zealand have a cross in there, but I'm like, Brazil, I can't, I couldn't think. It's mostly just green with the circle in the middle. I don't know.
The good news is this is the best that we've done in quite a while
In a minute.
on this quiz.
Looking real smart.
The Colombian president is elected on a term of how many years? 4, 7, 14, or 10? I'm between two on no real basis. So
Yeah. I'm gonna, yeah, this and that. These all seem like great answers. Good job, everybody. I'm gonna say 10.
okay. Now I'm between 7 and 10.
That's
And
pretty much what I was also between.
yeah, and now it's my decision is do I go with Evan or do I try to go with 7 and maybe I increase my lead?
Get
But
your
if
lead
I'm
back
wrong
from
and it's
last week.
10, then Evan closes the gap again. So it's how much this is a risk taking exercise. And it could be that we're both wrong.
It's
But
true.
you know what? I have the points to spare. I'm going to get loose. I'm going to
Wow.
pick 7.
You goose. Let's go.
It was 4. It didn't matter.
All right.
Well,
Song remains the same.
yes, we are still
That song-
5 points apart.
That song is People Equal Shit by Slipknot.
32 to 27 is the score.
Okay.
Maybe
Alright.
one of these days we'll
One of
we'll
these
get
days, Alice.
we'll get yep. That's amore.
That's amore. So, from the beginning of this episode, it's felt overly clear that we're going to say karaoke by.
Yes, and it's like
But I feel like it's got to be something else.
yeah. Well, first I want to say, listeners, please send us your toenails since they have gold.
Oh man, I am barefoot right now, so
Me too.
check out the
Just a couple of
OnlyFans.
gold feet right here.
We're spreading our gold. I gotta look into this weird factoid. Gold. What's the word for fool's gold?
Is there a separate word
Pyrite.
for fool's gold?
Yes, fool's gold's called pyrite.
Oh.
I used to be a little rock head. Hey, rock.
Yeah. Like Rocky Balboa, of course.
Yeah. He loved Fool's Gold. I'm just talking about stuff till a pun comes in.
Rocky Balboa, bye.
Rocky Balboa, bye.